Hello, dear students. Let us discuss the topic of managing human resources in small businesses. As we all know, human resources are very prominent and very important for smooth running of any business. And these are the chapter objectives. After you have read this chapter or listen to this video, you can get these skills from this lesson. In the human resources, the first and very important thing is recruiting the personnel. How you plan to recruit the people for your organization. Recruitment is the process of generating more and more applications that are applicants. That is the potential group of potential employees. And when you look at human resources for any organization, what is the need for quality employees? Employees' performance directly or indirectly affects the capability of the firm to service customer needs. That is very important. To reach the customer, to make the customer happy, and to deliver the services and the goods promptly and timely to the utmost satisfaction of the customers will be supported by the human resources. And employee performance affects profitability. Normally, employee performance always affects the profitability. If their performance is very good, profitability increases. If performance is poor, profitability will be coming down. And payroll costs affect firm's bottom line. Again, when you are paying salaries, if payroll is higher than required, then your bottom line, your company's bottom line does mean that net profit of the organization will be coming down. So payroll and bottom line of the company always related. Quality of employees determines the long-term competitive potential of the firms. For our surprise, certain companies will be performing well and become very good brands just because of their employees. You take for example Toyota, Japanese car maker. Their employees are backbone of the success of the world's leading automaker from Japan. So the lure of entrepreneurial firms. So advantage of employment in small firms. When you look at the employment, mostly organization, the potential employees will be chasing the big organization, large companies. But there is a lot of difference between working in a large company and a small organization. What is the advantage while working in a small firm? Quicker movement to decision-making levels of the management. Here, the boss man or boss Mary is very near to the employees. So, whenever you are required a major decision in the company, the employees can directly approach the boss or boss man or boss Mary, so that there will not be any such a big issue. Whereas if you take a large corporation, meeting a CEO by a lowest level employee, shop floor employee, it is a myth or a dream. So decision making is not that easy and that quickly made. And greater managerial freedom, because limited number of people in a small firm, managerial freedom will be there. More opportunities for broad-based managerial experience, because in a small firm you do not find a HR manager separate, marketing manager separate, or finance manager, or this kind of number of designations will not be there. A person may be responsible for multiple operations of the organization, so that the employees will get more experience, broad-based managerial experience. Flexibility in work scheduling and job sharing. There will be high flexibility in work scheduling and job sharing because of the flexible working with the small firms. Where from we can get the employees, potential employees, we can see. There are various sources. Help wanted advertising. Wanted advertising, you can give advertisement in the newspaper. Wanted people, wanted sales girls, sales boys, likewise, you can see in the newspapers. Then walk-ins, you may give a advertisement that we need so-and-so people with so-and-so qualifications, so-and-so skills. You can come and participate in the interview, walk-in interview at so and so date, so and so time. And schools, the companies may visit the schools and assess the capability of the graduating, would be graduating, what we call in future, in a short time, short while, the people getting, that is what in case of our PNG, year 4 students will be approached by the organizations, and university will be supporting the organizations to recruit the people, and they can send them on the job training soon after they complete the course. Public employment offices, like you can find some registries of unemployed youth and people. In India, we have employment exchanges. We can see public employment offices, in the sense they, after graduating from grade 10 onwards, people can register in that particular registry, and whenever there are certain employment opportunities, these registered candidates will be communicated by the companies. And private employment agencies, there may be private employment agencies where they can give services for the unemployed people. We can approach those. And executive search firms, you can see, for example, in our PNG, Ernst & Young, it is providing accounting services and managerial services at the same time, executive search, executive recruitment in helping top management of the companies. Employee referrals, you can ask the employees, existing employees, to give some referrals from their known circles. Internet recruiting, giving advertisement on the internet, and what we call even Facebook, helping the people to get interviews and recruitment. Temporary help agencies, like outsourcing agencies. Diversity of workforce, because of changes in the global scenario, global business scenario, you can find different people from different cultures can be seen in any company and workplace. So differences among employees in terms of such dimensions as gender, age, and race, and language also, it is not mentioned here. And diversity is increasing with higher proportions of women, older workers, and racial minorities entering the workforce. Because nowadays, a few decades ago, women coming into work was very low, but now almost women dominating in certain areas of services. Especially I observe in Ethiopia and even Botswana, South Africa, southern part of Africa, women are more and more employed in hotel industry. Almost 80% women and 20% men working in the hotel industry, especially food supply and hotel industry. Then comes with, when you look for recruitment, you must understand what is job description. You must describe what is the job you are going to offer. Job description is a written summary of the essential duties required by a specific job. What exactly we need to complete. That means, for example, accountant or cashier, you can see various things, junior accountant. So he has to, suppose it is defining that accountant must perform accounting activities like bookkeeping and recording and finalization. These are all things like that comes under job description. This job description is a statement which aids in personnel recruitment. When you know what are the activities involved in the job, you may look for a suitable person into that job. And a job description helps focus employees on their work. When you give the list of activities to be performed by a person, and the person must be helped by this statement where these are my activities, activity 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And job description provides direction in training. Again, training. When you look at a job description, that is activities to be performed by the employee will be listed there. Then when you are recruiting, you may give the training for the newly or fresh graduates entering into your company on the same lines of job description, so that your training will be matching with the skills required for the performance of the job in the company. This job description serves as the basis for performance review. Again, suppose there are 7 activities to be performed. As you take the DW, lecturers require 30% of time for teaching, 30% of time for consultation or consultancy, outside consultancy, and 30% are the outside consultancy as well as community work, and 30% is for the research work. So on these 3 lines, the assessment will be done, performance review will be done. Then comes with job specification. A list of the skills and abilities needed by the job holder to successfully perform a specific job. So job description is list of activities. Job specification is job description is about the job, and job specification is about the employee, right? A list of skills and abilities required. You suppose for the accountant, what kind of person we require? A graduate from Bachelor's of Accounting, right, with hands-on experience with operating a fluent, perfect, skilled computer operating, especially office tools like MS Excel and Word and PowerPoint. At the same time, the person who is proficient with using MYOB accounting package. These are the specifications. It aids in selecting the most qualified job applicant. There are recruitment is again increase in the number of applications or database to select suitable people, right? Evaluating prospects and selecting employees. Steps in recruiting employees. Using application forms. You can give application forms made available on the website. Whenever anybody wanted to apply, they can download that application form and fill the application and send it to you. Interviewing the applicant. Once you receive the applicants or applications from the applicants, you can screen them who is appropriately suitable, and you make a list of the appropriately suitable people or applicants. Remaining applicants will be in the database. And once you select certain, suppose you have received 1,000 applications, but you understood that only 200 people are suitable, you can call for interview only those 200 and interviewing the applicants. Then checking reference and background information. Once you interview, after the interview, you may, out of 200, you may be selecting 10 people. For the 10 people, you can check the references and background information, especially criminal history, criminal background, or criminal report from the police, likewise, so on and so forth. And testing the applicant. Like once you interview and you finalize that these 10 people are selected. Out of course, 200 listed applicants, you selected 20 or 30, whatever it is. Then you put an test for those finalized 20 or 30 people. After testing, you can disqualify those who are failed in the test, and you can go for the passed people, those who completed test properly. Then you can go for physical examinations for health reasons or health and fitness of the employee to perform the activity. Especially when you look at mining sites, accountant also must be physically fit in the mining sites. So that physical examination to make the employees assured work performance in the organization. So when you look at judging the business opportunity, is an idea a good investment opportunity? What all the things influence your business opportunity? Economics, that is what macroeconomic nature. Macroeconomic in the sense, what is the growth of economy of PNG? What sectors are performing? How it is growing? This all makes sense. This is what normally called as top-down approach. You look at the entire country's economy as a single picture, and then you go further, right? Then management capability. What is the strengths and weakness of the management, and how best the management will be taking advantage of the opportunities coming in front of them. And fatal flaws. If there are flaws in the business decisions or planning, then things will be again will be worsening. Market factors. How market is behaving. That means again individuals, families, their income status and social changes. These all will be understood, need to be analyzed. And competitive advantage, whether our company is stronger than competitors in many fields or competitors are stronger than our company. If our company is stronger than competitors, you may have advantage and you can be the market leader. Then comes with the training and development. This training and development, training in the sense, training is part of imparting skills into the employees to match with the job specifications. Then development means preparing the lower level employees or entry level employees in a long run to climb the ladder of the organizational levels and to make a future, to prepare future managers for the company. So when we look at training and development, first aspect we look at is orientation of new personnel. You are recruiting 10 people today, you have to give orientation about your company, because a employee directly walking out from university and joining your company, he may not be knowing about work culture and various things in the organization. So you have to give orientation and training to improve quality. So training imparts new skills and efforts, what we call expertise in the employees, so that the quality of the products and services will be improving. Training of non-managerial employees. You do not expect always training for only managerial employees, but even floor cleaners also need some kind of employment or some kind of training and development. Development of managers and professionals. That is what this training and development always looks at the entry level people. In the entry level people, they recognize future managers and they impart those skills by training to make the succession plan easier to the organizations, especially in the private sector. Because in the public sector, the seniority will make that fellow to get into the top level. There is no other way. But in the private sector, performance and quality of performance will be very, very important and influencing factor for the succession planning. What are the purposes of training and development? The purposes, there are 5 purposes explained here, but this is not a complete list. There may be some other purposes. Prepare new recruit to perform the duties of the job. In the training and development, this is first and very important purpose. Then second one is improve the performance of current employees by giving training for the not only new recruit but also existing people. It is again improvement of the performance of those current employees. And prepare employees for career advancement. This is what very important one. Career advancement. In the future, he may become a manager or CEO of the company. Improve morale of current employees. While giving training, the people become more effective and also more skillful. When they become more and more skillful, they get their confidence built and their morale will be improving. This training and development serves as an inducement to potential applicants. Potential applicants will be, it is working like it serves as an inducement to the potential applicants. Steps in job instruction training. When you see here, first one is prepare employees. First one, put employees at ease so that they will be very flexible and comfortable. Place them in appropriate jobs. That is what way. No accountant should be placed in the marketing division and vice versa. Find out what they know. First of all, you need to understand what is the knowledge and skills of that person, so that you can place that person based on the skills on an appropriate job. Get them interested in learning. So with this training and development always helps and motivates the people to learn, because learning everyday process. Learning is everyday process, and that is what some education expert says. You are not dying when your life has gone, but you die when you stop learning new things. So that is what learning ability is very, very important for employees always. So present the operations, then tell, show, and illustrate the task. In the training, it is not simply that okay, you go on preparing a training. Sometimes training becomes boredom when you are looking at a trainer just speaking to the wall by projecting some PPTs. That is not a training at all. So you must show and illustrate and the tasks so that the people get more confidence. Stress key points, what is very key point and important point, and where you must need utmost care. Instruct clearly and completely, that is very important. Sometimes the trainer may be giving half of the information or less, what partial information, which makes the trainee more confused. So to avoid that, you need to make everything crystal clear. Try out performance. Once you give the training, have employees perform the task, you make them to perform so that in front of you, in your presence, they will perform with confidence, so that in your absence, they will also perform with confidently. Because when in front of you, if they are performing well, they feel happy and they feel confident that okay, I have not committed any mistakes, so that I can perform. Have them tell, show, and explain. Again, once they perform, you ask them to explain so that the presentation, repetition makes more experience. Ask employees questions and correct any errors. In training, we must ask questions to the employees so that it will be more effective. If you do not ask any questions, that people may not be taking things serious, or sometimes they may not understand and they do not correct if there are any errors. Then follow up. Check on employees frequently. Tell them how to obtain help. Encourage questions. Training and development employees continuation. Development of managerial and professional employees. So here, an entry-level person may be given opportunity to go to even up to the CEO level. You take, for example, a person called Satya Nadella was a just entry-level employee in 1998 or so, but by 2013 or 14, around 15, I think, I am not sure, around 15 or 16, he is a CEO of Microsoft. Just because of continuous training and development, it could be made possible him to reach that place. Development of managerial and professional employees, determining the need for training, that is a very important one. Sometimes some organizations will make the schedule of training. Training is a continuous process, but it is a formality. But they need more analysis. What is the need? What kind of things are to be imparted? Suppose, for example, accounting professionals, accountants in the company, junior accountants and senior accountants need training on international accounting standards which are going to be enforced by the PNG government. This is what analyzing the need. Creating a plan for training, setting a timetable for training. We must inform the participants in the training well in advance to make their schedule free during the training period scheduled. Providing employee counseling during the training, you can also make certain counseling sessions to the employees for various aspects. Compensation and incentives for employees. Wages or salary levels. Competitive compensation must be introduced by the company to make more effective and skillful and very vibrant employees to be recruited. Time or output based compensation sometimes. Hourly basis or output based on the practices in the industry and in the country. Financial incentives. So for the employees, you must make all those employees committed and loyal to the company to make that wage and salaries must be good, and financial incentives like if you perform beyond this level, you will get some commission like bonus or whatever it is. Piecework. If you produce 10 10 units in a 1 hour, you will be getting $3 per hour. If you produce more than 10 pieces in an hour, for extra units you produced, you will be paid extra. That is what pays work you can generally introduce. Group incentives and team awards, that is also important because most of the projects run by groups and teams. So for the better performance of entire group, you can give the incentives for that group. Bonus and profit sharing plans, etc. Performance based compensation plans, key to developing an effective bonus plan. This helps the organization to have effective bonus plan. Set attainable goals, so possible goals, and include employees in planning. Again, this is very important. That is normally called as a workers' participation in planning. Keep updating goals. Goals need to be updated time to time. For the performance of the employees, stock options, that sometimes companies will allot some shares in the company to the employees to encourage them to work with commitment. Employee stock option, stock ownership plan, that is ESOPs. This plans through which a firm is sold either in part or in total to its employees. For example, a BSP wanted to issue shares to the employees of the BSP, manager and above level, for example. BSP shares available in the PNG stock exchange, POM stocks at around 12 kina per share. So when company want to issue some shares to the employees, they do not charge a market price. Instead of 12 kina, they may charge 8 kina or 9 kina, and they add some shares, give some shares to the managers and based on the decision of the company, so that company making their employees part of the owners in the company, so that they will work with more pride, and also this can be giving a financial benefit for them. Employees' performance is motivated by their sharing of ownership in the firm. So once a fellow becomes owner in the company, the pride will make, I am also one among the owners of the company, so that their commitment levels will increase. Owners can cash out and withdraw without selling to outsiders. Sometimes they may say that, okay, you take these shares, the employee can request the company to buy the shares and get the money. ESOPs offer tax advantage to owners and employees in different countries differently. Then fringe benefits. Fringe benefits in the sense non-cash benefits. Supplements to compensation designed to be attractive and beneficial to employees. So what kind of non-cash benefits you are providing? Like transportation, free transportation, free food coupons or lunch coupons, and freebies like annual celebrations and giving gifts to the employees, and likewise housing, free housing, etc. Benefits are a substantial portion of payroll costs. This is very important because in employment cost, especially for expatriates in PNG, 25 to 30% of benefit is housing benefit itself. Right? These fringe benefits sometimes makes more or a very major component in the salaries and wages or payment incentives, what we call compensation to the employees. These fringe benefits are a substantial portion of payroll costs. Small firms tend to provide fewer benefits because the size of the company is very smaller and the number of employees also smaller. Small firms are increasingly outsourcing the administration of their benefits program. Like for example, these benefits provided, like you take for example, these fund houses are there. You take number one super, like organizations are taking care of benefits for the employees, right, on behalf of the companies. So some affordable perks which are normally given, like give employees a paid day off on their birthday. That makes more sensible that an employee will be spending time on his birthday with the family members. That makes sense that the employee's positiveness to the company will improve. Offer employees $100 a year to use for personal enrichment, such as taking an art class or getting a massage or attending a play. If it makes them happy, they may be more productive. For this example, this Google Facebook recently introduced due to this COVID, no work from office but are work from home. So while company wanted to make up to end of the 2021, Facebook is giving work from home for all the employees, and they paid around $1,000 for every employee to purchase required hardware and software and arrangements at home to make work from home comfortably. Bring in lunch for everyone on Friday, for example. You offer a Friday lunch for everybody so that they will feel happy. Have employees select a star employee for his or her contributions at the office and reward that individual with an extra day of vacation or a cash prize or something like. For example, in Toyota, there is suggestion boxes in every factory, every corner. Suggestions can be given in writing by the number of employee ID and name of the employee, and for best suggestion given in a month, respected by inviting that suggested person, the employee who gives a very tremendously useful suggestion for the company, that employee with family will be invited by the CEO of the company for a dinner with the entire family, and CEO himself serves the food for the family of the employees. So this is very encouraging for the people. Offer recruitment bonuses to those who refer potential employees who stay with your company 6 months or longer. One good employee can often lead to another. So this is referrals, employee referrals. You can refer your known best performing person to your company, then company gives some kind of bonus. For example, in Dewan University, if any lecturer gives referrals of a person who comes and who performs well for 3 months, the referring employee can get 200 kina as a referral bonus as per the policy. And pass on to employees perks accrued from the use of corporate credit cards, including airline miles, tickets to fun events and other benefits. For example, every end of the year, the company books tickets for all the employees to go for vacation. When company is booking number of tickets, definitely there will be some kind of discounts or airline miles awarded by the company to the purchasing company. So when suppose I am an employee, and for my annual travel, if company is buying a ticket for me, if company receives 2000 miles, then better you transfer this 2000 miles to the employee's account so that employee can use them later on for his personal trips. So that makes them happier. There are some special issues in HRM. Employee leasing. So this is very prominently used in Europe and America for the high skilled, high technology using or high technology related employees. For example, leasing an employee from British Petroleum Corporation as a rig operator for PNG, for example, right? Oil search or something like this is what the case is. The renting of personnel from an organization that handles paperwork and administers benefits for those employees sometimes. Leasing allows small firms to provide employee benefits. For example, you may lease accounting services from an accountant of other company. Leasing makes small firms subject to additional government regulations. This is again a regulatory system. Professional employment organizations, a personnel leasing company that places employees on its own payroll and then rents them to employers on a permanent basis. This is a best example in our PNG is all security services. All security services, they recruit the security guards and they pay salary from their accounts, but they work on other site where that is what a client of security services company. Suppose for example 2 guards are working for Divine Word University campus Vaigani. Those 2 are not on the rolls of Divine Word University payroll, but they are on the payroll of guard dog or somebody, whatever it is. then they get salary from their dog god, but not from Divine Word University. Divine Word University pays the agreed amount to the god dog security. This is what renting. Legal protection of employees. So this is an American example or UK example. Civil Rights Act legislation prohibiting discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex or national origin applies to all employers of more than 15 people. So this way we do have some regulations in our PNG where you cannot discriminate as per the law. You cannot discriminate based on the province you can recruit or based on province you can decline. But every citizen applied, every applicant must be equally treated with equal respect and equal opportunities. That is what very important to be taken in. And disabilities. When you have a employee, disabled person recruited in a company, you must provide some facilities for the disabled persons, like for example toilets and a ramp for wheelchair movement, etc. Legal protection of employees. So today we are talking much more about this gender-based violence. Sexual harassment policy guidelines. You can also find these kind of guidelines in every organization across the world. Establish clear policies and procedures regarding sexual harassment in the workplace. This is a guideline for everybody, not just for one company in the America. Require employees to report incidents of harassment to management immediately. This is a very big issue where many issues are not reported by the people who are affected. That is what giving more courage to the fellows who are assaulting or doing sexual harassment of the women. Investigate any and all complaints of sexual harassment fairly and thoroughly. This has happened recently. Google, I think, one top manager found guilty for harassment, and just within 24 hours notice, by giving 24 hours notice, the company shot him out by giving compensation, whatever the amount payable. Just they settled the account and they said that tomorrow don't come to the office. Take appropriate action against violators, whether they are low level or high level, everybody should be equally punished. If a lawsuit is to be filed, contact an attorney. Legal issue. So this is also OSHA's, what we call OSHA's, Occupational Safety and Health, right? So at the and also Fair Labor Standards Act. These two speaks about what kind of health measures are taken up by the company, what kind of facilities are provided, whether you are providing appropriate safety for the safety of health of the employees in your workplace or not. But also fair labor standards, again, you should not discriminate the people on the basis of any skin color or something like. And when you make 40 hours per week, you must make payment overtime if they work more than 40 hours. But this Walmart, one of the world's famous company, they use this loophole. For example, if anybody working more than 40 hours need to be paid for insurance, social insurance and all. That is the reason why the Walmart will look at every time, every employee works less than 40 hours. So they say that after 37 hours of that week, they say that, okay, go home. They don't allow them to work more. No need to pay overtime. At the same time, since they are working less than 40 hours, there is no need to make any arrangements of insurance or health insurance, especially these are avoided, so that they are making less cost of employment. And Family and Medical Leave Act, what kind of aspects you can take. And here, especially when an employee becomes sick, there must be given, the company must provide medical aid as well as leave, paid leave, right? And firm must provide up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave for children, childbirth and other family. This is not fair. This is not related to our country. But paid leave is paid for 9 weeks, I think, before, of course, after the before and after together, right? The birth of giving birth. Labor unions, this is not much to discuss here because no such strong unions prevail in our PNG and fighting on behalf of the employees in PNG. Again, how to make the employer-employee relations very formalizing. Employee handbook normally contains require or provided with this expression of company philosophy. Normally they explain what is our philosophy, recruitment policy and process, selection methods and training protocols, vacations and air vacation and travel costs, etc., grievances and redressal of the grievances. How to, if there is a grievance, a employee is facing some problem with his boss, then how these grievances need to be addressed. At the same time, all employees are facing a problem with the management, how these are to be addressed. That is what grievance redressal procedure, right? Discipline and performance reviews, how the performance reviews are made by the company. The need for human resource manager, conditions favoring appointment of HR manager. A substantial number of employees, 100 or more, will be there. In such case, you need to have a HR manager. Unionized employees are there. When in a company there are a union, there is a union with the employees, then you need HR manager. High labor turnover rate. If your company is facing more and more labor turnover, that means you are recruiting 100 people this year and almost 50 people walking out from your company in couple of months. Then you are going to recruit again. So this is a regular process, and your company becomes a training center rather than a performance center. In such cases, you need a HR manager to address the problems related to the employee turnover. Need to recruit and select skilled and professional employees. So HR people will have a good exposure to how to select people and how to recruit the people. Considerable need to train supervisors or operative employees. Then training is very, very important. When you realize that, you need HR people, HR manager. Poor employee morale. If employees are not working with interest and courage, what we call motivation, you need somebody to motivate them. Strong competition for personnel. Employees are not that easily recruited. When more competition for skilled people is there, then you need HR manager to recognize good and skilled people for the company. So these are the key terms which we come across and we generally come across in the human resources management.